Grand Rising. Back to the thought from yesterday that if you have to translate ancient writings that you had nothing to do with those events in the past, let's take that another step forward. Now we know how they've done that with the Bible, but they've done it with other ancient writings as well. I got this guy who was coming on the comment board talking about how, well, the Spanish, I trust the Spanish history more than I trust you fake Israelites. That's fine, bro. That just shows you have no understanding and you have no idea what you're walking into over here. Did you know that your Spanish history was just pretty much stolen from other ancient histories? You guys seem to think that just because you speak Spanish, that was like the original languages spoken in these lands worldwide. And trust me, there's many languages that you have no idea that these people just came in, stole the lands, right? And then they got a hold of the history, and then they just copied it and into their language, and then voila, they have a history. But don't take my words for it. Take a look here. The Annals of the Kingdom of Ireland by the Four Masters. The earliest period of the year 1616. Now, if you look at the top, you see there's different writing right there, right? Edited from the autograph manuscript with a translation, okay, and copious notes, right? So volume 1 right here, 1848. Now, I have this, here flipped a little bit so you can kind of see how it works. On one side, on the left, you have the original language. On the right, you have them actually translating these records, and then they don't tell you about these other ones that are on the left. They don't let you know about that. They just pretty much concentrate on the stuff on the right that's been translated, and then all of a sudden you seem to think that these were the original writings because you haven't been exposed to these other writings here. Now, if you take a look here at the, I think, C there, yeah, Drunholm, and it's got the other language, original language, a church and parish in the barony of Tiracu, something like that, and country of Donegal. This church is referred to under the Latinized name of Darsum Thomai or whatever else by Adamnan. So you got to add Latinized names. So it wasn't originally in Latin. They went ahead and grabbed this history, changed the names, and all of a sudden now you have it Latinized. And now you seem to think that the Latins have all this great history. It is also mentioned in O'Donnell's life, okay, of Columba, right? And also in the Irish calendar of the O'Clerys at the 23rd of September, okay, where it is stated that it is one of St. Adamant's churches. Again, so you'll think it's St. Adamant, you'll start thinking it's Spanish churches, but it's actually, they just copied this information and Latinized the names of these places in order to give themselves, a history in these particular lands. And these are the lands over here in Ireland. So right here on page 4, you have this information right here. At the top, you have it written in the original languages, and then it gives you some more information here at the bottom. Let's take a look at the bottom section right here. The word Maol, okay, right there. Like Giola has two significations, namely a chief and a tonsured monk. It was anciently prefixed like Giola to the names of saints, to form proper names of men. Now, this is how these people were doing these things before you guys even got here, right? This is how they had saints. We had saints, right? Okay, names of men as Maol Colum, Maol Seknal, which mean the servant or devotee of the saints Colum. Okay, but when an adjective is postfixed to Maol, it has its ancient signification as Maldul right there, i.e. the black chief. That's weird. The black chief, huh? Okay. Wonder why they would say that, right? But take a look on down there. The black chief, yeah, because there was so-called black people in these lands that's all been hidden. Kiernan, or how about the celebrated Irish saint, died in the year 549, right? And there's his name right there, or as it is now anglicized, Clonmacnoise, okay, was a famous monastery near the Shannon. Okay, so again, now you have Latinized words you have right here, anglicized words. In order, you went ahead and you translated this information into your languages and you changed the names, just like Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And or they also don't want the original names. Paul. These were all the names when you anglicized these names in order to put yourselves into other, someone else's history that had nothing to do with you. So when you look here in the middle, it says Indo-European speaking tribes first arrived in Ireland and Britain around 800 BC to 500 BC. The question of who inhabited these islands before them still remains unanswered. Now, it remains unanswered because you just went ahead and took all these books and you translated them, and then you anglicized them and Latinized them, and then all of a sudden the people who are here before you, the people who are speaking these original languages, you played dumb, as if you have no idea, right, what was going on. So again, the question of who inhabited these lands before them still remains unanswered. All modern books on Irish and British history completely ignore any connection with Africa. The very old copies of the Annals of Ireland openly mention the arrival of African sea pirates, while modern versions have deleted any reference to Africa. So it isn't that they don't know who was here before. They don't want you to know who was on these lands before, And I showed you the other book with Ur of the Chaldees, talking about how the ancient Greeks, Pythagoras, actually learned from these ancient people here in the land of Ireland, the Celts. And like I said, and they know who was here in these lands before, but they went ahead and they, just like with the Bible, they went ahead and translated into their languages, and then all of a sudden, they're the ones who seem to think that they have the authority to tell you what was going on back then. So just like in Ireland, Britain, Europe, all these different areas, you guys had nothing to do with these lands. You had to go in, take the information, translate it, and then anglicize them, Latinize it, put your stuff in there. And now you got people running around here today thinking that we so-called Negroes don't have any history, and that you're going to the Spanish have way more accurate history. How do you know that? These people went ahead and just took everyone else's stuff, translated it into their languages, and just like they've done here, they got you thinking that you're Puerto Rican. I says, also, you've only been around since 1800s. Oh, I'm Taino. I'm Boricua. No, that sounds kind of, well, those are the original languages, or those are the languages that they told you that you used to speak. See, how can you trust anything these people say? Because they've lied about absolutely everything. Shalom.